What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, latest and updates, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's down 3.9%, 977 the high, 953 the low, so a new 52-week and all-time low was hit. For those of you that tuned into my video over the weekend, I did state that the 950 range was going to be a temporary bottom, good opportunity for a nice swing trade. Of course, all of this red with Lucid and also just the broader market is because of Trump, the whole tariff thing associated to Greenland. So the market's not really liking all of that that much. Aside from that, though, we did have one data point that came out first thing, and the market's largely just brushing it under the rug. But ADP weekly came in at 8,000, a little bit lower than the consensus. Normally, this would be spun as a positive to justify a rate cut, but clearly there's a lot more macro fears rather than anything. Today, Lucid hasn't put out any SEC filings, no press releases or anything like that. There was one thing I wanted to share with you, and it was posted by 𝗪𝗧𝗪. So this individual, very much a Lucid bear. Everything he kind of posts has a negative spin to it. But in here, he just brings up how for the first time Lucid did sink below $10, blah, 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 and whatever else. But in here, he does provide one new piece of information, which is rather annoying because Lucid recently stated that they were going to be more transparent, blah, blah, blah. But in here, Cantor Fitzgerald analyst Andre Shepard disclosed in a research note obtained by 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 on Tuesday that Lucid is planning to host a investor/autonomy day on March the 12th. So that is new information, definitely good. It would be a lot more advantageous if, let's say, Lucid was to put that out, not Cantor Fitzgerald through EV and whatever else. But still, hopefully this is a good event, and I think the last big event was in September, hosted by Peter, the Tech Day, and that was a very big success. It did prompt even a lot of new analyst ratings. That was way back in 2024, September. So hopefully, again, this is a good thing. Obviously, they'll be talking about the NVIDIA partnership. That's how Lucid's going to be getting higher autonomous levels, up to 4. So we'll have to wait and see, but it would be better again if Lucid was to put it out itself. But nonetheless, information is still good. Aside from that, shorts are increasing 245,000 shares, another new all-time high. Short interest, 36.62% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 47.7 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average has jumped up quite considerably, so went from around 17 to now 30. Still, that's an annual rate, not a daily rate, so not that big of a deal. But DTC, 5.94 days, does really signal that shorts are very overextended. As of right now, you're not really seeing any institutions buying the dip. So roughly around 4 transactions, all of which are sells. One for 2.5 million. The rest are kind of smaller transactions. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So it is fair to assume that most of this is linked to shorts, since shorts are somewhat active today. Aside from that, though, looking at the options, very low volume. So 200,000 in calls, 424,000 in puts, 51% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So looks like big money is kind of anticipating more downside, unfortunately. And for those of you that kind of, again, tuned into a lot of my weekend videos, I did signal that a lot of these tariffs, if they don't go away, like there's going to be a lot of issues for Lucid, because right now AMP2 is a key for their success to get around all these tariffs. But they're not going to be fully sustainable up until, mid 2026. So from now until mid 2026, Lucid's kind of at the mercy of the market. There's no, they need to get stuff done ultimately. But from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 10. And optimism has just been dropping and dropping. So yeah, Lucid definitely does, again, need to put something out of substance. Bears are not really doing too much, in all fairness. Again, a lot of lower volume kind of stuff. But with it right now at 973, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 941 is going to be the next strong support. Wasn't tested today. Potentially, if a lot of that fear does roll over into tomorrow, then of course that could happen. One thing that's happening after hours today is Netflix's earnings. So we've seen that really move the broader market, depending on what they give for future guidance and so forth. So 941, just watch for that. Then 1031 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Before I get into the technicals, one thing I do want to share with you is that I do have a stacked account. Just made this roughly around a month ago, and I did lower one of the tiers. So if you're looking for some solid on-point day trades, I lowered it down to $10 a month. So if you get in, it will never increase whatsoever. And these are the day trades that I did put out for today. So 25%, 36, 98, 119%, 309. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. Link in the description below and also the comments. Make sure you guys take advantage of that promo. $10 a month, like I said, and I'll probably be ending that mid this week. So random kind of promotion, but definitely worthwhile to kind of check that out. Moving on from here, looking on Lucid's actual chart. Right now, it's below all the key pivotal moving averages. The only thing that is positive about this is stochastic RSI, how it is very oversold. So a good piece of news in theory should really prompt some institutions to kind of buy it and algorithmic trading to really push it higher. Again, if Lucid was to have put out, and you never know, they still might, but if they put out news that on March the 12th that they're going to be having a investor day, that could really prompt some a nice little bit of a recovery. But still, in my opinion, I think Lucid's probably waiting for their earnings to disclose that, say, hey, you know what, in a couple of weeks we're going to have investor day, blah blah blah, as what they've done in the past. But unfortunately, leaked information doesn't really help anyone. But aside from that, looking at the market position, still, you could see a nice little quick swing trade or a nice recovery, but you don't see that much willing buyers. So it is going to be just algorithmic trading that is going to be moving it. And plus, on a side note, you do have this little bit of a gap. Gap doesn't always need to be filled, but that could give a good insight to a nice recovery to back to that $10 range. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you doing with Lucid? And like, what is your honest opinion about the next big catalyst for Lucid? Do you think it's going to be their earnings? Do you think it's them kind of expediting AMP2, or is it going to be the midsize? One final thing, like I said, pop over to the stacked account, link in the description below and also the comments. Take advantage of that promo. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.